You've probably been told you're too quiet, too sensitive, too lost in your own head. And maybe, at some point, you started believing it. Because if you were really smart, wouldn't it be obvious? Wouldn't people notice? But what if the very things you've been doubting are actually signs of something deeper? Not loud intelligence, not the kind that shows off, but the kind that hides and watches. And today, you might finally recognize yourself. You're sitting in a group. People are talking, laughing, interrupting each other. You have thoughts too, better ones maybe, but you stay quiet. Not because you don't know what to say, but because you're still thinking. You replay conversations after they happen. You notice things others miss. You feel things more intensely than you'd like. And sometimes it makes you wonder, why am I like this? Here's the part no one tells you. Hidden intelligence doesn't look impressive on the outside. It looks like overthinking. It feels like confusion. It often hides behind self-doubt. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. Let's go deeper. Sign number 1. You overthink everything. Not just big decisions, small ones too. What you said, what they meant, what could go wrong. It feels exhausting, like your mind won't turn off. But here's the truth. Your brain isn't broken. It's processing more layers than most people even notice. While others skim the surface, you're diving deeper. That's not weakness, that's depth. Pause for a second. Think about the last thing you overthought. Was it really pointless? Or were you seeing possibilities others ignored? Sign number 2. You feel misunderstood. Not occasionally, consistently. It's like you're speaking, but people hear something else. So you start explaining less, sharing less, hiding parts of yourself. But hidden intelligence often comes with complex thinking. And complex thinking doesn't always translate easily. It's not that you're bad at expressing yourself. It's that your thoughts are layered, and the world prefers simple. So you adapt, you shrink. But that silence? It's not emptiness, it's overflow. Sign number 3. You question everything, even yourself. You don't just accept ideas, you analyze them, break them apart. Sometimes this turns inward. Am I good enough? Did I mess that up? What if I'm wrong? It can feel like insecurity, but it's actually awareness. You're not blindly confident. You're consciously aware of your limitations, and that's rare. Because real intelligence doesn't say, I know everything. It says, what am I missing? Sign number 4. You get mentally drained around people. Not because you hate them, but because your brain never stops reading between the lines. Tone, energy, subtle shifts in behavior. You pick up on things others ignore, and that constant awareness drains you. You might think you're antisocial, but maybe you're just overstimulated because your mind is doing more work than it looks like. Sign number 5. You struggle to explain what you mean. You have thoughts, deep ones, but when you try to say them out loud, they come out messy, incomplete, and then you feel stupid. But here's the twist. Your thoughts aren't simple enough to fit into quick words. They're layered, abstract, evolving. So when you speak, you're translating complexity into something smaller, and translation is never perfect. Sign number 6. You learn differently. Traditional methods feel off. Memorizing facts doesn't excite you, but when something clicks, you understand it deeply, almost instinctively. You connect ideas across different areas. You don't just learn, you internalize. And that kind of learning doesn't always show up in grades or tests, but it shows up in how you think. Sign number 7. You notice patterns others miss, in people, in behavior, in life. You can predict outcomes before they happen. You can sense when something feels off. You don't always know how you just do. And sometimes you ignore it, because it's hard to trust something you can't explain. But that pattern recognition, it's one of the strongest forms of intelligence. Sign number 8. You doubt your intelligence. Constantly. Because you compare yourself to people who are louder, faster, more certain. They speak confidently. You hesitate. They answer quickly. You pause. So you assume they must be smarter. But speed is not depth, confidence is not clarity, and silence is not ignorance. Sometimes it's the opposite. Sign number 9. You're highly self-aware, almost painfully. You notice your flaws, your habits, your reactions. You reflect a lot. And while others move on quickly, you stay, you think, you analyze. It can feel heavy, but self-awareness is the foundation of growth. You can't change what you don't see, and you see more than most. Sign number 10. You feel like you haven't reached your potential, like there's something inside you, but you can't fully access it. It's frustrating, because you know you're capable of more. You just don't know how to unlock it. But here's the realization most people miss. Hidden intelligence doesn't reveal itself early. It grows quietly, slowly. It builds depth before it shows results. So while others peak early, you're still becoming. Now pause again. Think about your life. The overthinking, the silence, the doubt, the feeling of being different. What if none of it was a flaw? What if it was all evidence, not of weakness, but of something deeper forming beneath the surface? Because the truth is, the world celebrates obvious intelligence, quick answers, loud voices, clear confidence. But hidden intelligence? It whispers, it questions, it observes, it evolves. And because of that, it often goes unnoticed, even by the person who has it. So if you've been doubting yourself, if you've been feeling behind, you're not behind. You're just building something most people don't have the patience for: depth. And one day, that depth will speak louder than anything else. You just have to stop mistaking quiet for weakness and start recognizing it for what it really is.